Alright, so today we're going to do a review on a brush set, the Brush Couture 5-piece brush set but from kashuk from Target. This is currently for sale. So I wanted to do the review as soon as possible, so if you need some brushes, like I did, I really needed some new brushes, you can go out and get it. I believe this is $15.99 and or $14.99 rather, and there is a coupon online right now for $1 off any sonia kashuk item on Target.com. So if you print that out, you can get this for $14, which is an excellent deal. This is a 5-brush set. It comes with a powder blush brush, which is this big fat one, a crease brush, which is this tapered one, eyeshadow brush, which is this one right here. This is called the foundation and concealer brush. It's definitely more of a concealer brush. This is just way too small to apply foundation. And then a smudge brush. And now I've already used these. I just wanted to show you the packaging so you could get an idea of what it looked like if you were interested in purchasing. So I'm going to take them out now. That's that popping sound you're hearing. So we're going to go from smallest to largest. So we're going to start with the smudge brush. Now, the ferrules on these are really nice quality, and the cap on the bottom matches the ferrule at the top. It says her name. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. It's etched into the ferrule. And now, I would say these brushes are in between her white-handled brushes and her curvy black-handled brushes in quality. And if you know sonia kashuk, you know what I'm talking about. She has taper brushes with white handles and curvy black-handled brushes that are more expensive. I think they're right in between the two. I think there is a dupe for this one in her permanent black-handled collection, which is my favorite brush in the collection. But let's start with the smudge brush. This brush is really flat and extremely dense, so it's really good for what it should be used for, smudging eyeliner. I also think it's really good for taking color underneath the eye. I think it's good for possibly doing a little bit of cut crease work for creating a line for the cut crease. And, you know, it does an okay job if you really want smudgy gel eyeliner of just applying the gel eyeliner with just this brush and then smudging it out so you don't have to use more than one brush. So that's the smudge brush. The next brush we're going to talk about is what she calls the foundation concealer brush. And I had a brush from her that was similar to this one before, except it was more tapered and more pointed, and it was her concealer brush from her white handle line. I prefer this one. This one's really dirty right now. It's more domed when you get it and less kind of pointed looking, because I used it like 2 seconds ago to touch up my concealer. I really like this for applying concealer. It does a good job of kind of buffing and laying it on, and since it's synthetic, it cleans really well for concealer. So it's a pretty decent concealer brush. I do really like it for applying concealer under my eyes and in bigger areas where there's discoloration throughout the day. So it's a pretty decent concealer brush for the money. So I think these two have dupes within the white collection. But the other ones that we're getting to, I think, are more comparable to her higher end collection. So we're going to move on to the crease brush. This is my favorite brush in this collection. It is a tapered, large, dense crease brush. I have really big eyes, so if you don't have really big eyes, I mean, you can see this in comparison to the size of my eye. I have pretty big eyes because look at this in comparison to the size of my thumb. It's a pretty big crease brush. I know I have another one with me that I can compare it to. I should have done that, but I didn't. So, again, I think there's a dupe for this one in the permanent collection with the curvy handles. But I love, love, love this brush for doing the windshield wiper motion in the socket. With shadow, it does an excellent job of blending. You can be more precise because it is tapered, opposed to some other crease brushes that aren't as tapered, so you can be more precise with your application because it also is pretty dense and stiff. So, whereas this one isn't super stiff, I don't know if you can see that it bends back a lot easier than this one does. And this one's a lot stiffer. More dense. So this is an excellent crease brush. If you're in the market for some brushes like this that are in this set and a crease brush, I highly suggest you get this set almost purely for this brush because it's just, I don't know, it's the best crease brush I have ever had for blending. Somebody said it's comparable to a MAC one. If you know which one which number that is because I don't have any MAC brushes currently except for like one kabuki brush. I've never really bought any MAC brushes. I buy MAC products but not MAC brushes. I want to get into MAC brushes, but for now I think Sonia kashuk brushes are a great deal for what I need. So moving on to the regular eyeshadow brush, which is a C-shaped eyeshadow brush. It's pretty big. So you see, I was saying again, my eyes are really big. So this does a good job of 1, 2, 3 patting on the eyeshadow on the lid, but if you have smaller eyes, this might not be for you. It actually does a pretty decent job of blending as well. I also think that there is a dupe for this one in the black curvy handled collection, not the white handled collection, because I just feel like the quality on this one's better than the regular Sonia kashuk eyeshadow white handled brush that I have. So I just think it does a better job of packing on color. It might be the density of the brush because I think my other one is a little bit fluffier than this one. So it's a pretty good eyeshadow brush. Now this brush I like, but not for blush. I like tapered, angled blush brushes that are a lot more dense than this. This is pretty fluffy. This is pretty flimsy in comparison to my other blush brush, which is actually Sonia kashuk from the curvy black handle collection. It is a really nice angled blush brush. I love that blush brush. But I do like this for applying highlighter because I feel like it feathers it out really well, and I used it for applying my highlighter this morning. I think it feathers it out really well so you don't get a harsh line on your highlighter, which I absolutely can't stand. I really like it for applying bronzer all over my face because it's so fluffy, and the way it's shaped and tapered, I feel like it does a better job of that because it does feather stuff out a little bit more. I like more precise application with my blush, and then I like to buff it out from there. I like to make sure my blush is the same, on the same exact spot on my cheeks before I buff it out, because I feel like it evens out my face a little bit better when I do it that way. And this just kind of feathers everything out the minute you stick it onto your skin. So it's good for highlighter and bronzer, but I don't prefer it for blush. If you do like the more feathered out look with the blush, less precise application, just something where you can stick it on, go like this, and you're done, and you're using a pretty sheer blush. That's my other problem. I use really pigmented blushes. So when I stick this on and it goes on, it's like all concentrated in one spot and then feathered out, and it just doesn't look as great. But it is a good brush, and I would like this for applying powder, but I already have a favorite powder brush that, like, if I don't use it to apply my powder in the morning, I get a little crazy. So that is the, let me grab the box again, the couture, the brush couture 5-piece set. So again, $15, $14.99. You can get a $1 off coupon on Target.com. It's really good value for the what is in this set. So there it is again. I think you can see all of them there. So I suggest you go out and get it if you're in the market for any of the brushes that are in that collection. It's a good collection to have.